What's up? What's up? So, our boy Sean P. Diddy Combs is in a little bit of trouble. Tonight, I have a special guest in here. I don't know if y'all remember Diary of a Hollywood Street King. It was one of the first big websites on the West Coast that really spilled all the tea and all the stuff. My man Jackie Jasper. Guess what? I got him in the building tonight. You can't see him because he can't show his face. You know, he don't spill the tea on so many people. People out here looking for him. Jackie, what's happening, man?
I'm all right, man. I'm good. Ain't nobody looking for me. I just don't. I just ain't got no time for all that right now. Later on, we get into all that, but we're good. Yeah,
Oh, for sure, man.
yeah, we're
So
good.
I appreciate you coming on first and foremost, man. What's
hmm
going on with your boy Diddy, man? What's going on? Because I know you know the really real.
Well, I mean, I think this been brewing for a minute. You know,
Hmm.
um, I think everybody got something to say right now about Diddy, but those who knew him, we've been talking this over a decade now. You know.
For sure, because I
Uh,
remember, not to cut you off, I remember 5, 6 years ago when me and you first started rapping, you was telling me there was something coming down about Diddy, and I said, man, you tripping? Ain't nothing wrong with P Diddy. But here we
see,
go. Continue.
and I mean, let's take it all the way back to our boy Tupac, who's most likely smiling from heaven right now because everything that Pac said about him is actually coming to life. You know,
For real, for
um,
real.
and here's a dude who started off his life as we would call him a fucking nerd. I mean, excuse my language. We would call him a nerd, a freaking nerd, right?
Hmm.
And I would say that why? Because this guy partaked in videos from groups like the Five Young Cannibals. He was teaching Stacy Lattisaw how to dance. Was a good kid that went to Howard University and
Hmm.
found out he had the gift of gab, and then ran into, I think, the person who turned him out, which was Andre Harrell, you know.
Oh, so Andre Harrell, he was a part of that little fraternity.
Yeah, I think well, after, because Puff was going to school but hanging out with Andre and them on the weekends and all that, you know.
Mm.
I think that's when he got turned out and got a job right away from school as a CEO of a record company and all that, you know, um, which is crazy, you know. And from that plateau, um, leaving that and then getting connected with Clive Davis was
Mm.
really when it all happened. And him getting connected with Clive was when Clive was connecting L.A. Reid and all of that. And I think at that time of this thing that we call hip hop, the man, aka the industry, wanted to change the language of the game because
Mm.
prior to Puffy and all of that, we was on some Public Enemy NWA type phase, you know.
Mm.
Um, we were belling, you know, we were belling a lot. You know what I'm saying? So they
Mm.
had to calm down the noise, and Clive gave Puffy a bag, gave on Andre Harrell and baby, I mean, L.A. Reid and Babyface a bag, and we started to see the music changing. You know,
Yeah, no,
um,
let me ask you a question, Jackie, real quick, because you brought L.A. Reid up, and me and you both know how L.A. Reid get down without saying it.
that's why I'm mentioning the characters to show you the cast members. You know, so we kind of putting the cast members and how people fitted in and how they connected. You know, and when Bad Boy came to life, I mean, this guy was in his early 20s. You know,
Mm.
getting a job of probably a man who was the industry for decades. He just got in there. Like, that's what you call a plant. You know what I'm saying? That's what you call industry plant. Yeah.
Mm.
And his motive was to have the music that we were doing softened. And he softened it by having his rappers rap about Versace, and the girls started liking it. And before you know it, it was coming so, the music was coming so wishy washy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when he got into the game. But no one really took notice. Everyone partaked in it because we're coming into like a bling era, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody forgot that this dude is really a plant and always was a plant. He got from this whole connecting with Craig Mack, who was probably his first hit record. Craig Mack was it
Who?
was
Hold
probably
on. Who we just found out his cause of death, was the virus. Shout out to Craig Mack, rest in peace. That's just really interesting, though.
yeah, you know, and let's say Craig was the first to jump off on Bad Boy, you know. Then we had, I mean, Total wasn't there, but I think Total came after Biggie, right? And Biggie came through, and now we're looking at one and two that was on the label. They're not here with us anymore. I repeat to both gentlemen, right?
Yes, sir.
Both of them was jumping out the window on Puffy. Both of
Mm.
them wanted to be gone, right?
Yeah, so let me ask you this. So Biggie had plans on, and I heard this from the homie Gene Deal. Shout out to Gene Deal. I talked to him this morning. He told me that Biggie had plans on leaving.
Of course, because remember Biggie was messing with Un and all those cats over there, right? So Biggie
Mm,
had plans to leave, you know, and then you know we all know what happened to him. So that's a whole different thing. We're just breaking down how a nerd became so violent and
So
criminal.
yeah, because I know back then his orientation wasn't really a big thing, and there's a lot of stuff coming to light, about him doing a lot of really committing a lot of atrocities, man. They said this
Yeah,
man had cameras in every room of his house and had
I
people
mean,
filmed, and he would use that as and you
you
told me
remember?
this before, he would use that as leverage against people.
Yeah, I'm coming back to it. Suge Knight once said this was the guy who was dancing all up in people's videos. So this was a happy go lucky person for 5 minutes before he became so psychotic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this all started out in the late '90s, after Biggie's passing, or a little before it. Like right, a little before he was going crazy, but he never went crazy till probably the late '90s when he started eating ecstasy like kids eat vitamins.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And when he got into that drug is when he went sex crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think he was doing this for a minute without recording it. And then he started to record the device for leverage amongst others who were on camera partaking in his debauchery that he created, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he was like making porn films without making box covers and stuff at the Valley. He was just making these things for his personal blackmailing use and probably to watch privately at himself. So he was most likely a voyeur, right? So he was the
Mm-hmm.
type of guy who, prior from the camera, would have these type of sexual festivities going on, but he was the type peeking and looking at it. You know what I'm saying? So he was more a director of dirt. You dig what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
And And in order to keep such a fueled, sick mind going, he added more different things to it. He added drugs, he added fear, you know, um, and it was all about power, you know.
Well, they saying they
And
found 1,000 bottles of baby oil at his house and guns and all of the other stuff. So he was
yeah,
definitely getting it in.
well, I think what they're trying to tell you by having the thousand baby oils and the thousand bottles of lube, I think what they're trying to let us know is that this was like a porn set, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And by having all the ARs and stuff that they spoke about is letting us know that, hey, this guy was violent at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by giving him no bail shows that he's a flight risk, right?
Of course.
Um, they took his passports. They said in April he had to turn in his passports or something like that in April, right? So he couldn't
Mhm.
fly out. But if this is true, wasn't he just in Grenada when they went down there and got him or something, right? So um, if they had the passport in April, I believe in the summer he went down to the Grenada or something in the Caribbean islands because he that's when his that's when the his drug dealer got busted, the white dude, right?
Mhm.
Around that time, right? So that means he don't care if you got my passport or nothing. He's still gonna do what he need to do, fly. He don't care about rules. So it seems like he makes his own law. He's the law and he's the order. You know, he calls the shots, and the government had to go down there and get him.
Not no
So
more. They made sure that they made themselves clear with that because he's he behind bars right now.
yeah, and and him not having his barber to dye his hair and dermatologist to have his skin all looking cool like Puffy. Him behind bars in the next 2 weeks, you're gonna see a whole different man.
Yeah,
You
them
know what I'm
grays gonna
saying?
come in, them little hairpieces gonna
Yeah,
start coming out and
yeah,
falling out. Buffy goes like he's 70 years old.
yeah. They're gonna embarrass him. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's about to embarrass him, and he got his house out here in L.A. Out there in Calabasas, I believe he got that up for sale, right? So
Mhm.
I guess he's selling that to pay some lawyers off and all that. Put his mama's house up, part of the 50 million that he was trying to put out there for bail, and they canceled that. Told him, nah, you ain't catching bail. You know, so
Well, why you think that? You think they believe? You said they believe he's a flight risk, right?
I just told you they took his passport in April, and just this time in the summer when his drug dealer, the white dude, got busted. They was in Grenada, so that means he couldn't. He left the country on his plane without paperwork. You dig what I'm saying? So he showed them that I don't listen to the law. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You feel me? Huh?
Now we was talking earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many other people you think he go throw in the grease with him? How many other people is involved in this? Any names that we may know?
I think it's so many names. So many different people, right? Right now we can throw names and speculation. People, I'm reading people talking about Cuba Gooding Jr. was there. This is coming on from the case from that lawsuit that something Rod, whatever his name is, whatever
Yeah,
Rod
yeah, yeah.
Ware.
The producer brought forward, but
Yeah,
you know what? I don't know if I buy everything that producer